In this video, we are looking at 3 completely different upcoming titles that are all featuring survival elements, but in their very own way. Whether you want classic survival or a unique take on it, stay tuned for 3 games that are releasing soon, or at least in the not so distant future. Let's get started with the perhaps most traditional survival game, Soulmask. Having held some closed betas and a public demo, Soulmask just announced a time-limited open beta starting May 1st, followed by its early access release in early June. So, what's Soulmask all about? Soulmask describes itself as an authentic survival sandbox experience. It's set in a primitive world with lush wilderness, where you are the last one blessed with a mysterious mask. It's your task to unravel the secrets behind the mask, all while confronting your harsh surroundings, gathering a following of tribesmen, and exploring the mysteries of the world. Before we look at some of the game's core features, let's talk about the basics. Soulmask is being developed by Campfire Studio and Singaporean publisher Cooland Games, and will be released on PC via Steam. And while nothing concrete, it has also been stated that they are preparing for the release on other platforms. It supports offline single-player and online multiplayer of up to 70 players on official servers. And there's also the possibility of LAN play and dedicated servers, where you will be able to adjust the server settings to customize your gameplay experience. Last but not least, Soulmask will offer PvE and PvP servers. Now, with that out of the way, let's talk about the general game mechanics and the main features of Soulmask. Starting out, you will get the basic survival experience of having to find food and water, building a shelter, and crafting armor and weapons. Proficiencies are leveled up by using the respective craft or weapon, and you can unlock further weapon skills the higher your level in it. In addition to this and your character level, there is also a traditional knowledge and technology tree, and the rather unique awareness and mask levels, allowing you to unlock further abilities. Masks are a key feature of the game, and over time you will be able to discover more masks which offer unique abilities and knowledge. Another survival staple is building. From what we have seen, you can build some pretty cool structures and settlements. What's important to know is that there is a decay system that relies on you having a camp or bonfire lit. Since there's also a weather system, it's crucial to keep your fire sheltered and fueled up at all times. Your fire will also determine the radius of your land claim, so you have your own designated build area. The various skills, knowledge and crafting systems seem quite in-depth, and the UI can be overwhelming. But with every new game, it might simply be a matter of getting used to. Beyond building, you will also be able to tame various animals and get mounts like alpacas, panthers and ostriches. There's even a system for farming and animal husbandry. While the game also lets you explore dungeons, battle other tribes and defend your base against invasions, let's briefly touch base on one of the other key features, and that's followers. Tribesmen can either be recruited forcefully, or you'll find them occasionally approaching you, willing to join your ranks. Tribesmen can be assigned tasks like gathering, crafting, defending your base, or they can fight alongside you. Each individual has unique skills and abilities that can be leveled up. But there's one more very unique element when it comes to followers. Once you have unlocked the ability to control them, you can actually play as one of your tribesmen. Since some of them might have completely different strengths and perks than your own character, this gives you the option to discover the game from a completely different perspective and level a new character without having to start over. Well, that's Soulmask for you in a nutshell. It all sounds very intriguing, but of course, we'll know if it really delivers once it's out in early access. If you're interested, make sure to check out the open beta on Steam, starting May 1st. The next game we thought worth mentioning is ASKA. This third-person, Viking-themed survival tribe builder is slated for release sometime this year, and is for now only accessible throughout limited closed beta playtests. While it would be easy to immediately compare this game to the hugely successful Valheim, There are distinct differences when it comes to the gameplay, which we'll explore shortly. But first, some additional details. ASKA is being developed by Sandsailor Studio and will be published by the well-established publisher Thunderful. While its initial release is planned for PC, an Xbox version is in development and the game features full controller support. ASKA can be played solo and co-op with up to 3 other players. There won't be any official servers at launch. Instead, the game can be hosted by any player via peer-to-peer online support. Dedicated servers are not completely off the table, but no news have been shared on this front. Furthermore, ASKA won't feature any PvP, at least for now. Now, what do we know about ASKA and its gameplay? As mentioned earlier, beyond the Viking theme and the fact that it features survival elements, it's not a mere Valheim clone. The main difference is that ASKA is, at its core, a tribe builder, meaning you recruit villagers to build and expand your settlement. Building in ASKA is also quite different. Rather than building individual pieces, you build prefabricated structures. While this might sound limiting, the reason is that the focus of the game is the building of a functioning settlement for you and your villagers, and not a base just for the player. In return, the management of your villagers is seemingly quite in-depth. Villagers can be assigned to gather specific resources, hunt, craft or build structures, defend your village, or fight alongside you. Furthermore, each villager has daily schedules and needs that must be fulfilled. The more you advance, the more your settlement will come alive with its own economy. Villagers also have abilities that can be improved in order to benefit your village or fulfill more demanding tasks. One last thing in regards to building, the game will have terraforming. While we have not yet seen to what extent, you can raise and lower the ground and, for example, build walls and ditches. Having villagers doesn't mean you can't do any of the tasks yourself, of course. Especially when starting out, you will do everything you'd expect from a survival game. Explore, fight, gather resources, and start building. The game world is completely procedurally generated, features a dynamic weather system, and plenty of things to explore, like hidden caves and valuable resources. Since ASKA is set in a mythical world, you will also encounter fantastical enemies and battle an ancient evil that's said to be especially threatening during the harsh winter seasons. But as it sounds, there won't be any other NPCs beyond villagers and foes. Other features that stood out to us were a market and trade system, settlement invasions, resource transportation by carts, farming, sailing and boat fishing, as well as tameable wolves. While this is just a top-line overview, we hope it gives you an idea of what ASKA is about and what type of survival game it is. As always, make sure to join the game's official Discord and keep an eye out for beta announcements. Now to a complete change of scenery and well-beloved franchise. Dune Awakening is the upcoming open-world survival MMO from gaming veterans Funcom. If you like sci-fi, Dune, survival and or MMOs, this game will likely have already piqued your interest. Dune Awakening has been announced for PC, Xbox Series S and X and PlayStation 5, with closed beta tests taking place for PC only for now. No release date has been announced just yet, and while an early access release later this year might be in the realm of possibilities, we believe it's more likely to be next year. While based on Frank Herbert's Dune novels, the game also draws huge inspiration from the recent movies, and will take place in an alternate timeline that makes more sense for a virtual world with thousands of players. The game is powered by Unreal Engine 5, and from what has been shown so far, it's stunningly beautiful. Now, with that out of the way, what can we expect from the game, and how does it deal with survival? It's probably important to emphasize that Dune Awakening will neither be a traditional MMORPG nor a full-blown survival game, but rather a hybrid that combines elements from both worlds. Let's talk about survival. Set on the desert planet Arrakis, players face various environmental threats, like the unforgiving heat and lack of water. Being exposed to the elements can be deadly, so players will have to find ways to stay hydrated, be it by extracting plants for water or enemies for their blood. Then there are the devastating sandstorms that might kill unexpected travelers. And even worse, gigantic sandworms that roam the desert and swallow everything in their way. While we would call these the big three, there will of course be other dangers as well, like enemy camps, patrolling ships and the likes. Not to forget about PvP. While PvP is not unavoidable, it seems that anyone who wants to take part in the bigger endgame activities, like the harvesting of huge spice blows in the deep desert, will have to engage in it in some shape or form. Survival maps in Dune Awakening will be more protected and are the place where you can build a permanent base and find the majority of the gameplay experience. The deep desert is an ever-changing PvP-only area, where hundreds of players from the smaller, instant survival maps can come together to hunt for spice and valuable secrets. Speaking of building a base, Dune Awakening expands on the excellent building mechanics we have seen in Funcom's survival game Conan Exiles. The game's building system will be blueprint-based but allow for an incredible amount of freedom when it comes to creative base design, including various build sets and decorations. We are sure builders won't be disappointed. There's also a very cool feature that lets you save your base design to either rebuild elsewhere or even trade with others. Now, since this is quite a big game and we can't possibly cover all aspects in this brief overview, here are some of the other key gameplay features. Dune Awakening offers you various ways to engage in combat. There's infantry with melee and ranged weapons, or the use of skills and abilities taught by specialists like Swordmasters, Mentats and Bene Gesserit, as well as ground and air vehicles which can be used with others and also customized. Furthermore, there are player guilds, a politics and intrigue system, a social hub with trading exchange, and a spice mechanic that will allow you to level up unique abilities but comes at the cost of addiction. And there's of course the gathering of all kinds of resources and a robust crafting system. And if you were wondering, no, you can't ride sandworms or sandwalk. At least not at launch, but one can dream. That leaves us with the question, what is your favorite type of survival? Do you think you will give one of these games a try, or are you already planning to do so? And if not, which survival game are you looking forward to play? Make sure to leave a comment. If you'd like to see more from us, don't forget to give us a thumbs up and subscribe.